Barbara Stewart.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'm very pleased to take a call on behalf of New Zealand First. New Zealand First will definitely be supporting this bill. It's a brilliant committee, the Health Committee. Basically, we work to improve the health of all New Zealanders, and we all work very constructively towards that end, which is a really good aim for a committee. Must say a thank you to the officials who were very patient and all of the many submitters who came along to talk to us. This bill is more and more important, particularly the contact tracing part, with the number of people that are now coming into New Zealand with TB, the multi-drug resistant TB. This type of TB cannot be cured, but it can only be managed. So contact tracing of these people is really, really important. We know that there are many of them in the hospitals, but we also know that there are many walking around our streets, our cities, and we need to ensure that we have notification of them before they contaminate others with a disease.
$16 entrance fee.
We're satisfied with the confidentiality changes made to this bill, thanks to Kevin Haig from the Green Party, regarding the private information of patients. The information of New Zealanders is not going to be freely available beyond the necessities of actually managing an infectious disease. So that is an important change that we made as a Health Select Committee to the bill. I was delighted to hear Dr Coleman say about the inclusion of chlamydia and other STDs in the list of notifiable diseases. Submitters were absolutely positive that this was something that had to occur. But we need to ensure that there is some education around this mandatory notification, especially for younger people, because the last thing we want is for them to go untreated because they are frightened of some sort of mandatory notification for not getting themselves checked. So confidentiality is important, and we'll be very interested to see how this works out. We in New Zealand First were hoping to see sunbeds banned. We'd heard about it on the previous Select Committee trip over to Australia, and we don't believe that this bill actually goes far enough to ban commercial sunbeds outright. Many of the submitters, most of the submitters except one, wanted these tanning beds actually banned. And I would say that damage that's caused to your skin by using a sunbed doesn't stop when you just turn 18. I know many years ago I decided that I would like a tan, so after trying many of the products to paint on and getting the racing stripes, not an even sort of a look, I decided that I would actually go to one of these sunbed clinics. So I was accepted, fair-skinned and all. I have never had such a bad burn, and it took weeks and weeks for it to go away, and I didn't have any tan whatsoever. As my brother said to me, I've got the vegetable tan, red as a beetroot and peeling like an onion, and it lasted for months. So I'm one of those people that when I heard the submitters come along and talk about the evidence of skin cancer before 35, and the increased risk of melanoma, I now know that I have to take some action and perhaps look at what I may have done to myself. Because we know that 2,000 new cases of skin cancer are identified each year, and I'm just hoping that I won't be one of those cases in years to come. The Ministry of Health recommended banning these sunbeds for commercial use, and we know that Australia have banned these beds, as have Brazil. And the irony of it is that our sun over here is just as harsh, and we should be following their lead. We know that Australia has a higher level of skin cancer than we do, but we have a higher death rate from skin cancer than Australia does. So we were quite concerned too when Consumer New Zealand came along, and after doing a check on many of the sunbed operators, found that the regulations were being regularly flouted. 17 out of 20 operators allowed type 1 skin mystery shoppers to have a session, and I thought I must have been a type 1 skin. Therefore, I think more needs to be done to ensure compliance to these rules. Perhaps some consent form, perhaps ensuring that people are advised of the dangers, and of course there is the age, but I would have been past that age. One of the things that really concerns me is that there is no monitoring on the strength of the light and the intensity of light that the beds are actually emitting. And knowing that we are now importing second-hand sunbeds from Australia, and many people have them privately in their homes, it really makes one wonder what can be done to ensure that the cases of skin cancer that may occur at some later stage are monitored as much as they possibly can be. So quite a few issues there, Mr. Speaker, and I know we'll be speaking on the sunbeds at some later stage, but I would like to say that this is a good bill. It needed updating. It is, since 1956, a lot has changed, and we believe in New Zealand First that preventative measures are far better than trying to fix things up once they have actually gone wrong. We need a fence at the top of the cliff rather than the ambulance at the bottom. So in New Zealand First, we will be supporting this bill as it's working towards protecting the health of all New Zealanders, and for us, that is a priority. Thank you.